Good afternoon. Oh, excuse me, I've been laying around a good part of the day, and it seems I've been having interesting fasting experiences. I evidently slept so hard that somehow one of my earrings came out. I was aware that it came out when I picked up, when I was laying down and I felt the earring back under my booty or something. I don't know. But it's just amazing what I'm coming across. I still haven't been really writing in a journal as much as I wanted to. I find it so intriguing that it's like, excuse me, I realize how much I am afraid of a lot of things. Like, I don't know where this is coming from, but when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, I have a lot of fear. And I often feel like this little bitty girl, like this little bitty scared girl who's going to be left behind. I read something today. I've been trying to do a lot of meditation and stuff as I'm in this space, because I'm so sensitive and I seem to be so emotional right now and so tender-hearted. Or I hear some kind of bird. The last 2 days I've been visited by birds. Yesterday afternoon it was a crow. The afternoon before that it was an owl. It was an owl in the afternoon. You know, you usually don't hear owls hooting in the afternoon. They're nocturnal creatures. So I know that that owl came to visit me. Uh-oh. Smoothie. So I've been finding myself feeling like, you know, afraid. And so I came across this quote today that said, everything is an opportunity to choose love over fear. And I believe that with my whole heart. But sometimes it just seems like the mental makeup of what we've been programmed. Like yesterday, I was blessed to be able to speak into some different individuals' lives and really send love to them and support them in the place that they were in. And both of them, or all three of them, were dealing with different challenges. One was dealing with a physical challenge, and two were dealing with emotional, mental challenges. And one had been through a really similar life to me. One was very young, the other one was middle-aged, and and it's funny, I talked to the young one first, I talked to the middle-aged one second, and I talked to the elder last. And the elder had been dealing with stress, and I gave her some ideas on some techniques to combat that stress. And I gave her a hug, and she was actually in the locker room at the gym and butt naked. And I just felt led before I went back into the sauna to give her a hug. And I didn't know how she was going to respond to it. I hugged the young girl, too, a couple of times. And so I'm so grateful for these opportunities, even in the midst of, I'm so emotional, I'm probably going to cry in this video. Even in the midst of my own struggles with pain or fear or I don't know why the word exhaustion is coming up, because I don't feel exhausted, but we'll say exhaustion. Maybe it's exhaustion of dealing with things a certain way. I don't know. But my own issues, I'm so grateful that I'm able to use the wisdom that I've gathered through my own suffering. And I had come across another quote today that said, unless you understanding your own darkness makes it easier to understand the darkness of others. And I think that's really how I am able to bring life and love on the level that I am, because I understand my own darkness, and I'm still learning my own darkness. It's a lot there, you know. It's a lot in this life of 21 years and dysfunctional capitalistic system, there are so many erroneous messages that we have been given. And so it is very easy to lose so many aspects of yourself and to feel lost. And, you know, it does not help that most of our parents are coming through the same system. And especially if you're a person of color in this system, you deal with another whole set of issues, because everything that you are is basically everything that this system says is not good. You know, curly hair, that's a bad thing. Unless you want a perm, or you're white and you want a perm and you want to curl your hair, or you put in rollers, that's fine. But, you know, straight is the social norm. Straight hair, straight sexuality, white Protestant males is the social norm in this country. And so when you don't fit in certain boxes in this country, everything is labeled here. Everything is put into the box. And when you meet most people, really, if they're their true selves, fit in very few boxes. I mean, you just don't. Like, you're different. You're unique. And I've always been weird. I've always been different. And it was so funny because we did this thing yesterday. I'm telling you guys, this thing is, I'm so emotional right now. Day 6. We did this thing on in my race and ethnicity class yesterday, showing how, you know, things that you didn't have any control on, you know, will put you back on the even playing field that is America, for lack of better words. Because, you know, people will say it's an even playing field, everybody has the same chances, but no, not really. And it is socially created for people not to have the same chances. I mean, gentrification, sexism, segregation, all of these things, those are just a few. All of these things are things that have set up to keep people from having a level playing field. So, level playing field, not so true. But all in all, I realized how much today I feel like a scared little girl today. And I've been feeling that off and on for the last couple of weeks. And I don't know what's coming to the surface. I mean, I spent a lot of time feeling alone, even when I wasn't really alone, and feeling uncared for, because I was very much an adult before I should have been, and I had to be. And not that I should have been. I'm trying to get rid of the word should. Should is not, but, you know, societally speaking, or social norms, or healthy child rearing, I was an adult at a very early age, and I missed a lot of developmental steps that a child should get to go through, as in being a child. And somehow I still held on to my child spirit, so give thanks. But the little one in me, the little young terrified girl who's always afraid of being left alone, is really surfacing through this experience. And it's just amazing how many times we're reacting out of fear and not even aware of it. You know, how many times we're pushing and pulling back for things that we really want because we're afraid. How many times we don't take opportunities that will really create the kind of reality we want because we're afraid. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to see myself and to go through this fasting experience and to release from my cellular makeup and my cosmic makeup and my physical makeup these things that do not really serve me, that did once serve me. A lot of the things that we deal with became defense mechanisms that kept us somewhat sane, or gave us the illusion of protection and feeling protected. And so I have to remind myself that I am safe and that I am loved and that all is well, and that, you know, every day I can love the little girl in me. You know, nobody else has to. I can parent myself. I can mate myself. And I'm not saying this out of balance where I'm saying I don't need anybody else, because we need relationships with other people. A lot of our growth and development comes from the relationships we have with others. So to think that you don't need relationships, even just interactions, help you to see more of who you are and who you're not. So I'm grateful for the interactions I have with other people, and I shall stay on the path of divinity, reaching my higher and highest self. I'm learning a lot about coping mechanisms that I have, or vices that I have, which I may or may not share. I don't drink or smoke, so, but anyway, food has been one, and removing food from the scene, which I do eat soup. I have been eating soup, but removing food from the equation, it's amazing how many times, like, I won't be hungry until something happens that makes me uncomfortable or nervous or afraid, and then I want to eat. Or, how many times I feel like I want to have sex, and it's usually when I'm anxious or nervous or overwhelmed. Like, it's like I want that release. Not that sex is bad, not that food is bad. None of these things are bad within themselves, but when we begin to use them as crutches and mechanisms to hide or not face the uncomfortable parts of our necessary growth, they can be detrimental. They really can. And they have, everything has an effect on who you are as a being. So just watching the mind right now, watching my thoughts, watching how often I worry for no reason about things that I can't control or change, about people that I can't control or change, how often I'm allowing old stuff to play out in new situations, how often I did a meditation yesterday for letting go. And it was like, just lay down, and the thoughts that come, or memories or words that come to your mind, release them, and hurt kept coming back. Hurt. And I let it go, and I will continue to let it go. But so much of what we hold on to, or so much what is holding on to us, are things that are not necessarily beneficial for now, They've served their purpose, and we're holding them long overdue. I think I have this thing of always being afraid of being forgotten. With my mother, I think it comes from my relationship with my mother. With my mother, we would go long periods without speaking. If I wasn't initiating the contact, if I wasn't initiating the growth, once I moved out, I wouldn't hear from her. And even as a child, like when I was 12, my mother left me with one of my aunts for the summer and did not call me the whole summer. And when she did, it was 2 weeks before school started. She didn't call my aunt either. Like, she did not communicate with us. It was 2 weeks before school started, and it was to tell me that she wasn't coming back home, and that she was going to be with a man who abused her and molested me. And that if I wanted to come home, if I wanted to come with her, I could. And I just decided that I wasn't going. But I think because of that, I think I felt forgotten about that summer. And I felt left behind that summer. My aunt that I was staying with was my daddy's sister. And even though my dad and I hadn't seen each other, I was in touch with my aunt even when I wasn't in touch with my daddy, because my daddy just fell off. And he would come by, but he still wasn't really trying to be like an active part of my life. And I realized in relationships, sometimes I'm afraid that, like, if we're not talking every day or we're not communicating every day in my intimate relationships with my mates, that I will be forgotten about. Like, like the love will change in a day. Like, they'll fall out of love. Like, they won't remember me. And I know that's like an erroneous thought. I know it's not. It could happen, but it most likely won't happen. I'm pretty damn unforgettable, actually. But because of these relationships, even with my mom now, we talk more. But we still go like a week or two without speaking. And I remember I used to feel like no one cared enough to check on me. Like, I lived alone. I was out of my home. And, you know, other people's mothers call them like every day or every other day. And I would feel some kind of way because my mom didn't. And, you know, I understand that we have a different relationship than most people. And it's going to always be what it is. It's unique. And all of us have different relationships with different people. But, yeah, so as you see, a lot is coming to the surface. I'm not even sure I should share this video, but I am. I'm just grateful that for whatever reason that right now these things are being called to the surface of who I am, and that I am in a place, in a space where I'm safe, and that I can process them. I can process the way I think, the way I handle things, and I can release it, and I can release the fear of being left behind and being neglected and being abandoned. So those things no longer rule or reign my now. I'm grateful for clarity. Clarity comes. I'm grateful for love. The love within me, the love around me, the love even in my mother and my father that may not have came out the way I wanted to see it, or the way I expected. The love in my mate that doesn't come out the way I always expected or want to see it. The love in my girlfriends and friends who, you know, I think they should do this for me or that for me or whatever, or say this to me or say that to me. The love in them that comes out, that's unique and special. I'm grateful. I am. I'm grateful for every now that I've had, and every now that shall come, and every now that is, and every now that will be. And I'm just learning to breathe. Always learning to breathe consciously and be aware. So I'm not sure if this will help anybody, but we have to get to the root of who we are and what we are. And a lot of times the roots that we need to get to are blocking who and what we really are from becoming into fullness. I love you all much, and I pray that all is well with you, and that you have a wonderful day. Peace.